Oh, look at you watching me. I'm going to read chapter 1 from the book Tortuga, book 1 of the Hen-ch conspiracy by me. mm. Wheat. Wheat makes me wheezy. Just had lunch. It's raining outside. I'd be walking, talking, but it's raining. So you get to do this because I got well over half an hour to read this story to you, and it's not that long. So, and it's just chapter 1, so we'll get through it together. And I think there's some things that I want to talk about as we're reading. So when we get there, we'll get there. Oh. I hear the angry engine roll. First time reading this out loud. I hear the angry engine rumbling down the sleepy street until it comes to a screeching stop in front of my house. Dogs bark from every backyard in the surrounding neighborhood. Sleepy-eyed neighbors poke their heads out from drapes to see what the commotion is. Just in time, who became my partner just 30 minutes ago, runs up the walkway to ring the bell, then pounds his fist on the door. I flung open my door. Holy unicorn, do you know what time it is? Justin pointed at the protrusion from under my pants. His brow and mouth crumbled. Tortuga. It's good. I closed my eyes and my wrinkled old trench around my waist. I recall the chief's warning earlier. Yeah, it's poking out there a bit. It'll be history in a couple of hours. Let's go. I'm driving. You pissed off enough of my neighbors. I reached down and moved the clock hand and tied my trench coat closed. We raced in silence, no sirens, just lights flashing blue and red through empty streets of Visalia. We get onto Highway 198 and then to the Fork Creeks Bridge, a mile-long, 2-lane bridge that crosses the Tulare River, a river with multiple falls that snakes through the city of Visalia, complete with majestic 25-minute gondola rides over the river and falls. We park amongst the gathering emergency vehicles and police cars. A lone police officer directs sparse traffic through a single open lane. A long and tall, spidery-legged blonde in a red mini suit watches me intently as we make our way through the small crowd of news people. I can feel the heat of her familiar stare. I refuse to make eye contact. She burned me before, and it won't happen again. Pillow talk should stay in the bedroom. She smiled and called to me, Dickie, can you provide a statement for the Love Show as to what happened here tonight? I winced at her nickname for me, and I stepped up to the blonde. Social media ain't the press, Linda. Shouldn't you be in bed? The sun ain't even up. Linda looked like she was thinking of a snappy comeback, but kept it professional. Can you tell me more about what happened tonight, Detective Prolongo? My partner, Detective Time, will answer all your questions. A smirk curved my lips as I looked for the supervisor on site. A barrage of questions hammered Justin's ears. He raised his hands to quiet them. He proceeded to conduct the official police comment, Tortuga, Tortuga, Tortuga. The crowded news people expelled a collective sigh of disappointment. They all recalled their experiences with Justin as the media liaison for the department. Prolongo, over here, called Sergeant Steve Cox, a short, fat, balding man with a comb-over that starts at the base of his neck and swings all the way forward. If his years of police experience could be measured in weight and height, he'd be a 350-pound, 5-foot, 3-inch ball of golden wisdom. Hey, Coxie, talk to me. What's happening here? I asked. You're still taking those Johnson drugs, I unfortunate see, said Sergeant Cox. I quickly closed my coat. Come on, it's my birthday. I wanted a little help from my friend. I made a playful machine gun noise as I jiggled my hips in an arching sweep. I swear you changed your name legally to Prolongo, you sicko. That's coming from a guy named Cox. Touche, Sergeant Cox starts. Let's get down to business. I refrained from starting to sing. We got a call that someone was riding a unicycle with a passenger. Wait, a passenger on a unicycle? Oh, you bet your bippy. And it gets better. They were zigzagging on Highway 198 at approximately 2 a.m. There isn't a bike lane, so of course they're backing up traffic. What little there is at 2 in the morning. We sent a patrol car to investigate, but as soon as Officer Bart Letsolum arrived, the unicyclist took off. Oh, I got a call. Ow. Yeah, phone call. Where were we? We just got a call that someone was riding a unicycle with a passenger. Wait, a passenger on a unicycle? Oh, you bet your bippy. And it gets better. They were zigzagging on Highway 198 at approximately 2 a.m. There isn't a bike lane, so of course they were there isn't a bike lane, so of course they were backing up traffic. What little there is at 2 in the morning. We sent a patrol car to investigate, but as soon as Officer Bart Letsolum arrived, the unicyclist took off. There was a short, slow speed pursuit with the suspect, who had a topless woman on his shoulders. Officer Letsolum followed the suspect to the Four Creeks Bridge. The suspect threw something shiny and in doing so lost control, and Officer Letsolum witnessed the suspect and passenger ride over the railing and fall into the river below. The officer ran to where the individuals were last seen, saw no one on the surface, swimming or otherwise. Justin finished frustrating the media and joined us. Cox said, "You know the chief's son, Tortuga." Justin nods a greeting to Tortuga. Justin nods a greeting to Sergeant Cox. Detective time. Congratulations on your promotion. Yes, I know Justin since he was a kid. How's your mom? She still live on the res? Tortuga, Tortuga. Justin smiled and broke into laughter. Sergeant Cox laughed. That's good to hear. And yes, that was a great party for your father, kid. Could you go grab the unicycle for us? Cox pointed to his patrol car. Tortuga, Justin bows. I was puzzled. You understand him? Oh, hell no. I hear that he's working on something with how language works or something. I changed the subject. Anyway, Cox, did Officer Letsolum get a look at the couple before they went over the railing? No, he did not. Cox took the unicycle from Justin. If you look at this unicycle seat, you'll see that it's leather and embossed with some fancy family crest or icon of chickens? That's my guess. We will also run the serial number in the police registry and see if it's registered. Seeing how fancy and unique it is, I am sure something will turn up. You got a pen? I searched my pockets and pulled out a receipt. I wrote down the serial number. Yep. Can I talk to Letsolum, I asked? Sure. He's over here waiting for you. Sergeant Cox escorted us to an officer leaning on the fender of his patrol car. He's about 6 feet 10 inches tall, made of steel and pure sex appeal. Bart sees the three of us coming toward him and stands up. The corner of his patrol car sprang up like a hydraulic dancing lowrider. I shook the catcher's mitt-sized hand of the officer. Justin gave a head nod and spoke his normal Tortuga greeting, and the officer smiled back and said, "Yeah, great party." I blinked and stood silent for a moment. I shook it off, refraining from singing again from my own song reference. I needed coffee. Officer Letsolum, did you get a look at the two? Officer Letsolum stood in constant eye contact with me. He never blinked, never looked away, and never looked down. No, sir, it was dark, and when there was light from the street lights, it did not provide me with enough to make out facial features, but they never did turn their face to me anyway. From the body size and shape, I could say the driver was male, slender, long torso, so maybe tall. Couldn't tell because, they're riding a unicycle. I could not see the driver's hair color due to the passenger on their shoulders. The passenger was the same in size, long hair, a brunette, almost black in color, and came across to the small of their back. I could also see that she had a tattoo on her back of angel wings. Excuse me, officer, but what was that? Sir, She was topless, or I should say, the top of her gown was undone and around her waist. She was whooping and hollering like she was having the time of her life. The rider was in black, maybe a tuxedo, and the dress reflected light like a disco ball. I would guess that they were coming from a fancy dinner or party. The driver of the unicycle pulled off an item and threw it over the bridge. That made them lose their balance and lose control, and they both went over the railing. There. Officer Solon pointed. Ah, thank you, officer. I look forward to reading your report. Yes, sir. I thought over carefully what the giant officer shared and turned to Justin. Justin is equally confused. He scratched his head and said a long and low, Tortuga. Yeah, me too, I affirmed. I stopped in my tracks and thought to myself, did I just understand the kid? I turned to the sergeant. Coxie, did the drivers find anything else down there? Let me call on the radio. Sergeant Cox ran to a quiet spot, called the diving team below and the bridge for any news. I pulled Justin aside. Not much to go on. What do you think? Tortuga? Justin's hands fly up and his shoulders meet his ears. Will you, for unicorn's sake, use words? This is important. I tapped on his chest with my finger, emphasizing every word. If you're going to be my partner in this, I need to be able to talk to you and trust you. Right now, you are 0 for 2. Get it together. You hear me? Justin took offense. Tortuga. My face contorted. The young detective's shoulders dropped. I stepped away from him. Sergeant Cox returned in excited mood. Hey, Stan, they found something. The three of us looked over the edge of the bridge to a small boat. Officers in yellow coats leaned over the edge of the police boat. Beams of light hit the scuba divers' heads as they broke the churning surface. Men in scuba gear lifting up a young woman from the inky black river water. Long, dark hair. No dress. Boxer briefs only. A tattoo of wings covering her back from neck to waist. After the struggle to lift her into the boat, she finally turned over. Face white. Eyes open. Well, that's chapter 1. Reading that was helpful to find some issues. I'll go over it, but thanks for listening and being a part of this. Visalia, that's where I live, and we do not have a giant river with a gondola ride. It's patterned after Spokane. I like to call it Spokane, Washington. I was there for a conference, and they had a river that ran through the town, city, whatever, and they had a gondola ride. And I thought, this is super cool. I mean, it's like a city, regular downtown, and there's this giant river running through it, and there's like falls and rocks, and it was cool. It was a giant bridge that you can cross over, a walking bridge, and it was just impactful, and threw it in my story. Well, thanks for listening.